Hello, beautiful women. After writing an email for a few hours and then losing it, thanks to my phone, that's a blame. That's me handing out blame. I just thought maybe this is an opportunity for me to change my source of communications. I can still email through a link for this video that I can send up a little follow on video just as the nourishment plan, and be able to speak a little more in depth on some things as well, and I'll just upload it to YouTube on my channel, and then you guys can watch the link through that. So I feel really balanced, and I feel like I'm definitely becoming more aware of everything that was brought to our time and space on Thursday night. Still, as a guide in this, I am going through the transformations with you guys, and it's really a healing process for me as well. And I just thought I'd share that because yes, I know these things, and I'm the one sharing them through my channeling and everything. However, they still get taken to a new depth. It's like every time you draw over a line, it gets darker, or or more color on it, and every time we activate neuro pathways and activate that firing and wiring through actioning and speaking and hearing things again and hearing feedback and feeling energies, it's a transformation for me just as much, and that's part of the co-creation that we are all creating together through this process. And so I'm really feeling the alignment that's come afterwards, and feeling a lot more settled and grounded internally, recognizing where my external checks are still, and really allowing that to become such a part of my everyday, to be checking where I'm getting my external worth from, or whether I'm validating my thoughts or actions from others, or whether I'm still blaming people or things, or it's just been really good. And I'd just like to encourage each of you to feel heard and seen and known, and everything that we're doing right now is happening, and we have activated at an unconscious, conscious, higher conscious alignment that our wholeness is really being brought into full balance. And especially after Thursday night, delving deeper into the feminine and masculine balance, I am recognizing my wisdom self really being met in harmony with my action self. And look, there's still definitely some learnings coming through, but yeah, I trust that everybody is as well. So what we went over through the course will continue to unfold and lead on into next week as well, and we'll really bring in the practical side of how we're going to turn all of this knowledge that we're already being encompassed with into a physical wisdom of how we interrelate it and co-create in our physical lives, and bring wholeness in that sense as well. So I am really excited about next week. I've already had a lot of beautiful little downloads coming through, and exciting bouts of energy where I'm like, yay, I'm looking forward to next week. So anyway, with that being said, I feel like that's my catchphrase. With that being said, I just invite you all to really start to slow right down And give yourselves time to allow your feminine, your wisdom self, your nurturing, loving, feminine archetype that we are creating, that we are shedding as we're recognizing old ways of being that are coming up for our presenting of our learnings, to recognize those old paradigms as a disconnect from us now as we are in fifth dimensional golden age, harmonious, high vibrational living that is within us. And now it's just that process of our mind really recognizing, seeing, being wise with the process of what's happening, allowing ourselves to slow down into moments more and allowing each moment to come to life with that knowing that our wisdom is coming into full balance now, and that everything we do from here on in is indeed across that line. We've drawn that line. Thursday night was a line in itself. So we have drawn that line and we've stepped over the line now. This next week is all about honoring as fear comes up, now that you're aware of what fear is, that it is the matrix, it's what we're breaking free of, it's what we're shedding, it's that third dimensional, it's the matrix of life. That is the matrix because it's an illusion. Fear is an illusion. Light and love is all there actually is, and that we have been under a learning process to understand, as we know, the duality, the polarity, the light and dark, to experience the third dimension as it was, and as we're shedding and releasing, slowing down enough to recognize as fears presented, as lack is presented, as anxieties, as anything is presented in our day-to-day life from here till next Thursday, that is our old paradigms being presented to us for final learnings. What do I need to learn from this around me right now? Trust that your life is led to now, that this is the shedding, that this transformation is the now, and that this last little chapter where the shed is happening, the release, the fall of the structurals, the crumble of the structural society that we've lived in that no longer serves. It's been keeping us in these boxes that we recognize that we are not. We're grateful for the learnings, and now we've slowed down enough through this next week to really acknowledge any other learnings that are coming through, that we then get to dance with, honor, rather than block and say, well, that's not me. Well, hey, these are parts of us, because everything that we're seeing and experience is just an external projection of our internal. And any fear or inadequacy or lack or greed or anything that we are choosing to focus on externally, let that be the mirror, the vulnerability mirror, to say, hey, that's an opportunity for healing. That is what is needed for healing at the moment. That's what I'm seeing, because as these paradigms, these old paradigms, are being presented in our face for final learnings, to shed all that no longer serves us as we rise and as we transform and as we step into our full infinite potential, possibility and probability in our human being form, in our spiritual form, emotional form, our soul form, as we find that wholeness and celebrate that wholeness, that these paradigms are being presented for learning right now, instead of actioning and meeting them in that overbalanced masculine that we've all been a little programmed to be acting out of. We are now bringing the balance back, finding the ebb and flow allowing our wisdom to be what leads us through these times, and recognizing what this purging is for, what this fear is being presented for, all for our benefit, to learn and transmute that energy and rise and spread our wings and fly through this next beautiful expansion. And everything that we are right now is stepping into our knowing that we are whole right now, that the imbalance that we're honoring and recognizing now is a part of the matrix. So we fed into the imbalance out of an illusion of fear, out of an illusion of lack, out of an illusion through our programming and our mass conditioning over this last chapter. And now that we recognize that any imbalance that we out of fear had the illusion of putting in place is also a part of the matrix, that any imbalancement between the feminine and masculine that we are needing to recognize, to accumulate as knowledge, to action our wisdom and turn into that next platform for wisdom, we now recognize that we are actually whole as we are in the now. And we're just shedding those mental layers to catch up to our heart that is already activated and living in fifth dimensional being of love and harmony, and that matrix is all a mental plane, that we recognize that any imbalancement that we're honoring, we're drawing the line, we're stepping over, we're honoring, is a part of the same matrix that fear is a part of, and we're rising above it because we've balanced ourselves to the point where we recognize that imbalancement is actually indeed a part of the illusion. That imbalancement is being shed as well when we simply choose that in the now, this now, that we choose to see the matrix for what it is and rise above and free ourselves from it. We are whole now. We are whole. You are whole when you choose to see it, when you choose to believe it and action it and step into it, honor, be free now. And in this free state where creativity is flowing, where that beautiful balance of creative energy is met with action, and we start to bring forth our ideas, our free ideas, in a balanced, beautiful, harmonious way for all, that is going to impact all in a beautiful light. Not just us out of our preconceived ideas of our imbalancement and what has driven us in the past, which is no longer, because we've drawn the line now. And we're here, we're free to create and really step into and embody the fact that we have everything here. And when we free that energy that was in those old third dimensional paradigms that have been dead for some time now, that the death has happened, 2012 or somewhere thereabouts, that we are now here, and we've drawn the line and we've shed them, and we see that we are whole. And as that flow starts to fully envelop, and we've pulled all of our energy portals into our now, and we've activated our cleansed vision, which we'll step into so much more in week 6. Week 6. you know, when we are already in that now, we don't have to wait till week 6. We cleanse when we choose to wash our slate clean, stepping fully into the now, freeing ourselves from all past ideas and knowings that were all backed with some element of fear that no longer stands because we've drawn the line, we've stepped over it. We're here, we're ready to create, we're ready to be met in harmony with a balanced, nourished, wise intention that is met with our strong, motivated, loyal, passionate, masculine, that then is met in the nows of now and create. It's time to create. Time to be freed. Free yourself this week from anything you knew last week. This week is all about recognizing, releasing, shedding, forgiving, unveiling all of that beautiful grounding work that we've been doing, that you've activated, bringing wholeness, shedding all layers, recognizing your own internal matrix that we've adapted and brought in, and recognizing that, oh, you know, yeah, I've been in an illusion for the last however many years, and that illusion has led me to now. Thank you. I honor you, illusion that's led me to now. I honor you for your polarity and your duality of learnings, of learning what fear is, of the absence of love, of learning what we're not, of learning, you know, what does and doesn't resonate with our highest intention to evolve and to create through free will and choose love and life and hope and choose to empower every cell, every proton, electron, neuron, every thought in your mind, every plane, every dimension, multi-dimensional being that you are, nourished. And allowing that intention of our soul's path to continue to be free now. This week we are stepping into moving our bodies into the space of energy around us and dancing and releasing any blocked energy, any stored energy from those third dimensions in our physical being. We are shedding and cleansing through the fun and vibrancy and potency of dance. And when our intention of our dance is to release and to move and to create movement in areas that are wanting to transform themselves, to shake, and we are going to move this week with the intention of everything we do. Set yourself up now that every movement, every breath, every thought is aiding in my shedding and release of that matrix of fear and the third dimensional life that no longer serves me, that I see that it's crumbling around me, it's releasing around me, it's being transmuted into newfound rebirthed energy that is plugging into my core and revitalizing and restoring myself for this expansion and this growth that is taking place within my being now, today, in this moment. I choose it, I will it, I want it. So it is, so it shall be. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love each and every one of you, and I'm so grateful for the journey already. We are only just on week 2, and we are taking full wing expansion and loosening and bringing these incredible whole beings of ours right out and strengthening our energy and building these beautiful, incredible energy beings around us, because we've released all limiting decisions and beliefs about our matrix that we chose to hold ourselves in for that period of time for our learnings. And now we are free, because we've learned everything we need to through this week. Anything that comes up, recognize it and honor it as the learnings that it is. Everything that's facing you, that's been in your life these last few months, as things are really being brought to the surface, recognize what emotions it's bringing up. They're the ones that are being presented for healing in your own internal matrix that is shedding now through the process. Dance it out, ladies. Embody your incredible bodies, beings, energy, spirit, soul, your incredible mind, your beautiful heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have fun dancing, and feel free to invite our energy bodies as you're dancing to be a part of your dance, just through the verbal activation of saying, hey, anybody out there who wants to be a part of this energy dance that my energy body's doing and I'm doing in the physical, put it out there. Start to speak to other energy beings and invite them, and just notice. You may not see anything, you may see energy beings, you may hear things, you may just sense that, through your knowing and through your unconscious awareness, that hey, we are all so connected. And when we choose our energy to be connected, it invites so much more connection on those levels, through our beautiful free will, and where we choose to free our energy and ignite, and what we choose to bring to life. And I choose connection, deep soul connection. And I'm going to be doing some incredible dancing this week with each of you. I know my energy's open to it all. So whenever you're dancing, I'm there dancing with you energetically. And if I start to feel like dancing, I'm going to dance then too, knowing that it's probably somebody else who's having a little jiggle, little whatever it is. It may not even be your natural form of dance. It could be the dance of your breath, your intention to breathe energetically, clarity through the cosmos, healing. Maybe it's just the way that you hold things, or that you hug yourself in the morning. Let dance be what then you map across into everything you do, to intend that this week is your shedding, your recognizing. Am I grabbing my phone now out of love, or fear? Am I thinking fearful thoughts as I'm doing this, or am I inviting love and creation? What am I focusing on through every movement, through every dance? But really, set aside a time to dance, or do it as you're walking or as you're showering, and move your body, really move your core, especially around our sacral chakras, our bellies. Be sensual and invite that beautiful, nourished sexuality into your body as well. Releasing any fear or shame around our sacred feminine and masculine sexuality. Releasing it, letting it free, and inviting that co-creation of new coding to our sacred, our divine new archetypes of feminine and masculine. We create them together. Embed them in your being, of what it is to live freely and show through your actions as you shed and recognize and release and honor and trust and surrender and do it all that we are at a deep, deep level. Cosmic midwives, cosmic creators. We are the creators of our own universe. We are the healers of our own lives and of all those around us. We are infinite potential. We are incredible human beings. Incredible human beings. Mwah! Happy dancing, and I so look forward to next week. Mwah. Another note is to also really start to become conscious of the language we're using, the verbal words we're using, whether they're attached to energetical pendulums that are going to be raising our vibration or keeping us attached to old paradigms that no longer stand, and really start to recognize the energy pendulums that you feed into on a love and a fear level, and recognizing them. In those moments of recognition, just draw your line. You've set it up, you've activated that's the line, that's your intention and your belief that part, that aspect of your life is done, and trust in it. Build that relationship with your unconscious mind, your energy body, your emotional body, trusting that I can trust my conscious mind, that I've drawn the line, and I believe that every time I do that, see that energy pendulum that I noticed before, I've stepped free of that in this moment, and my intention and belief to do so is all that is needed, because I recognize and I know what it did for me for a period of time and what it is doing for me as I shed and release and transmute, restore, forgive, honor, trust, surrender, and grow and expand and bring forth, that rebirth, that full rebirth. So yeah, just really starting, and that'll naturally happen as we slow down, as we're becoming so gently conscious of all the things that, are going to serve us through this time. Nourish. Is there any point where you're feeling overwhelmed by your consciousness? You have the ability to say, hey, we're just going to nourish that, use our wisdom just to allow this consciousness to be nourished. Use what you know, use your ability. And the very last add-on, I trust, is I was just looking through my notes to see if I'd covered most things that I would have covered in the email, and the only other thing that I was going to touch base on is writing your letter to your masculine self. So as well as dancing your way through life this week, releasing and transmuting and then dancing and planting seeds of light and love in those places where the energy has been transmuted to the soil that feeds those beautiful nourishes rather than feeds, nourishes those new plants of love and everything that you've planted in those places, keeping that flow, that energy going around, and where we've cleansed and cleared, that transmuting to the nutrients, the learnings, really letting those seeds sprout and take forth full life. That's the creation stage, the visionary stage now that we're stepping into, where that's the exciting part that we're stepping into. And yeah, so letter to masculine and feminine self. If you wanted to write a letter that addresses the old archetypes that you're shedding, and addresses the beautiful ones that you're choosing to write and co-create, the new archetypes of the feminine energy and spirit in this fifth dimension golden age era, that we have the ability to write those new archetypes. And I would encourage you to spend, yes, some time reflecting, but also some time really writing and bringing into the physical what you envisage in your optimal reality, bringing that to life. Optimal reality, what does that look, feel, experience? What would that be to you? and write that into your letters to the masculine and feminine that you are creating in these new beautiful codings of the archetype of the feminine and masculine within yourself.